your market isn't saturated at all. You're just not automating it correctly. Meaning, if you have an offer that other people sell, and if you can't differentiate yourself, well, then you might feel that market is saturated. But it all comes down to how you position your offer and how you attack the market. So in this video, I'm going to walk you through exactly how you can stick out through implementing automatizations within this. Also, the results we've been getting for our clients with this, so you can see that it truly works. And a saturated market is actually a good thing. So here is the full workflow, building out the problem and the solution for that you must likely have as of this instance if you feel that you're meeting in a market saturation. So before I go through everything, if you need help to get out of your market saturation situation, simple book a call down below and I'll show you exactly how it can work for your business. But firstly, what is even the meaning of market saturation? If you haven't heard the term for it, it means that it's not too many competitors, it's too many competitors. Some people see it both ways, but market saturation, per definition, means that a lot of people compete for the same business. Let's say you run a marketing agency towards dental practices, and there's 1,000 marketing agency towards dental practices. Well, then you have too many competitors, and the opposite to market saturation is called blue ocean or red ocean, where you don't have too many markets too many businesses competing for the same market. So the ideal situation is not to have too many competitors, which is the ideal one to go for. But sometimes you run a business or an offer towards what's competitive. Hence, there's two sides of the coin here, but we'll get that later down the line. So the reason why some people can succeed in a niche or a market where there's a lot of competition is because they are slow, and they don't have systems to provide them leverage to gain even more momentum within the market saturation itself, meaning they cannot acquire clients if multiple people competing for the same clients, which is a huge issue for basically the majority of clients. So here's how one way to solve is to find micro niches within that market itself. So you can scrape and signals and find hidden pockets, and I will give you an example. Let's stick with the dental niche as example. You can help a dental clinic for sure, but if you are the agency that only helps dental clinics with Invisaligns or cleaners, then you found a sub niche within the market makes you the go-to expert for that particular offer because no one can scale it as good as you and are as niche down as you. And then, of course, you can upsell left and right to get the full scope of the business, but that makes you stand off as the key and top authority within this business. And this is also something you can find through behavior-based segmentation, which if you have enriched and list, you know that it's only the creativity that sets your demands or capabilities at the test or at scope at this instance. So angling yourself to find a sub niche within the market you're already in will make you even more money than competing on a more broader holistic view. Another thing that's super crucial is having speed in execution. You need to target the advantages, meaning you need to automate the prospecting much faster. As of recording this 2025, you cannot rely on doing manual work, specifically in sales process. You cannot go knock on doors and expect tremendous result to fill your pipeline, specifically run a digital online business. And if you work globally, like knocking on doors on a global basis, that's going to be very hard. But you need to automate each step of the process that you can to keep your margin as high as possible and your operations as slim as possible. And this means it will turn into a real-time qualification. You will get super fast input as to what works, what doesn't work, what can I double down on, what should I cut off. And going forward, differentiation with unique offers. Automation insights create new offer, as we previously went through. For example, only offering Invisalign treatments and then have an upsell. That is a super strong pursuit that you can have in your agency. If it's dental clinic, of course, or you can have something else, because you need to be that person or agency or business that differs yourself from others if you're still feeling that market saturation is holding you back a little bit. Then second step is fast delivery and a strong edge. A lot of agencies stay on board and then takes a month or two to get started. Even if they're performance based or retainer based, doesn't really matter, but it goes super slow. And when it goes slow, like you lose momentum, you lose trust, you lose credibility, you won't sure as hell don't get any referrals if because when someone buys from you, they get buyer's remorse at an instant. Within 48 hours, they need to get justified as of investing you is the right thing. And that's why we install for ourselves and for our clients the onboarding call within 48 hours of purchase or investment, and then lay out the blueprint and plan to scale so they can see the X results coming in at the horizon or later down the timeline. This will happen week one, this will happen week two, this will happen week three, this will happen week four. So they are super clear. It's a super tangible process from both communication perspective, but also results perspective, but also what we're gonna do, what's rely on us, but also what we expect from them to have this rock and roll for a very successful partnership on both ends, because then it's a win-win situation. Moving forward, you need to use AI personalization at scale. I'm not sure how many times I've touched this through my previous videos, but if you're not using AI personalization at scale, that would be like waiting for business to come to you without doing any outreach content or inbound whatsoever. You just sit in your chair and wait for business to knock on the door to come ask you for business. That is, well, in somewhat of the parameters where we are as right now with the current market. If you use AI personalization at scale, you can use dynamic messaging, and that means you have a list of, let's say, 100 people, and each of these 100 recipients of the list will receive a unique message tailored to them. That is a dynamic message and an AI personalized message. Before, you will send a message to 100 people, and those 100 people look exactly the same. Do you see the difference? As of sending personalized message will give you a high reply rate, high booking rate, high sales rate, compare to not having anything whatsoever, a templatized message. Like that doesn't cut through the nose these days anymore. And this gives you a custom angle per lead, meaning each lead feels, oh, this person had done his due diligence on me. He sees me. He can see what I want, what I need. He even knows what type of case studies or client I have. This must be a super thorough guy. Same thing as if you send manual looms. That's a super clear example. A bit takes a lot of time, yes, but they definitely stick or crack the noise. So you need to stay ahead with automation and trends. You need to implement AI agents on each aspect of your business where you possibly can. Build out a content agent that automates your content so you get inbound leads automatically. Automate a reply agent so you can have your sales calls getting booked automatically for you. Because by doing that, you have resolved your inbound and outbound client acquisitions without you spending any time on neither of them. Meaning, it's free money, like it's free game. It's playing a soccer game without any opponents because you've automated everything. And of course, the bigger and more automations you get, you need some sort of workflow orchestration. But that comes later down the line when you fully AI enable your entire agency. So failure usually comes in one way or another when you try to scale but don't have the true systems in place, like some sort of organized chaos. But you need, when it comes to your messages, like generic spam sequence checks, meaning you need to check so your automation stays intact, so everything still is watertight. Because if you change a component in one way or another in some sort of automation, it can be really, really hard to make sure that that aligns later down the line. And that goes alongside with the manual bottlenecks. You need to remove the friction where you possibly can. And if you can automate something, that beats outsourcing along as it can get the same results. I'm not saying you should kick out your entire team and automate it, but I'm saying a lot of team members can have their tasks automated simply by, well, automate through an AI agent and make them allocate their time somewhere else, where that brings you more money later down the line. So by having these automations in place, you're gonna outpace your manual competitors. For example, automations, loops, compound speeds. Meaning, when you have automation in place, well, it says itself, everything is automated. And why won't you automate something if you want to do it manual? Like that doesn't make sense. Why work manual when you can automate something? I'm a big spokesperson when it comes to AI and automation, as you might see when it comes to this video and all my posts as previously. But I automate everything that's possible, but having the human touch as of customer support, that's something I only semi-automate because I want all my customers to feel seen. But that's why we have such high retention rate of our customers, no matter like the plan we have moving forward, or which scope, which project. And ultimately, lead generation always needs to be on. Even though if you have a bad month or two, you cannot stop doing lead generation, because that will be make sure that you have a weak pipeline month 6 or 7. And if you do that, then you're gonna decay later down the line. You can't afford to shut down the lead gen. Perhaps stay with one client for a little bit longer and then make sure that you have money to reinvest in business for lead gen. And if you follow all these steps laid out, it won't matter which market you're in, you're gonna compete with your competitors and make sure that they lose because you automate everything. You make sure that market saturation is not a problem for you. It's a place where you can win because now you know how to tackle it, how to angle it, what to do in your business, and also go through everything they might that they might not even be aware of. So here is a few campaigns we run for some of our clients very quickly of bringing them the pipeline to automating both their outbound sequences, but also make sure that they can close deals from this. I even recorded a video, which I'm gonna link down here. It's just a URL as of this video, where I show you from cold calls to client on autopilot due to, well, he automated his entire client acquisition channel. And that's also exactly what we done for Sebastian and Asim. So Sebastian's full booked 8 weeks out, so he was able to raise his prices by 40% due to the high demand he was having. So it didn't come, hey, please work with me. It was, I can't work with you, but if we do some sort of arrangement, I will see what I can do. And ultimately, Asim, who added 85K and deducted his 8K ad spend, which was tearing down his profit from his business, all by installing automations and make sure that the client acquisition or lead generation system were completely automated so they could close deals on autopilot. And if you want me to do the same for you and your business, once again, click the link down below so you don't feel any of this market saturation and always can scale your service-based business. And also there's a sheet down below that you can check out that show you a little bit more what and how you can automate, how much time you will save, and also how much money you will make from automating each part of the business. But if this is something you want to grow your business on autopilot, then click the link down below.